Sometimes it's kind of crazy to me to even be able to say that I'm in my 30s and I haven't ejaculated since my early 20s, you know? Like it's kind of weird. I was just having this thought to myself earlier today. I'm like, damn, that's kind of weird, Ross. You know what I mean? Like, who does that shit? And I say all this to really preface what I'm about to talk about. Guys, everything that I speak about on my channel, it's never from an egotistical standpoint, okay? I say certain things or use certain examples from my life to help you guys understand a point, right? I'm trying to paint a picture. That's the entire purpose. I don't talk about the length of my streak or, my fitness. I don't do any of that to really try to one-up anybody. It's just to paint a picture, right? Now, one of the main benefits, and really this is a benefit that a lot of guys get on this practice for, and it's for really to have more presence, whether it's in social circles or within their own tribe, right, in their family. Most of you guys are men, you guys are men, and even when it comes to your own family, you guys don't have a voice, right? They don't take you serious, this and that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just from like a family standpoint. But then when you go out into the world, you've got no presence, right? You walk into the USPS post office and there's a line and no one really gives a fuck. No one really notices you, right? People should feel your presence when you're around. At least that's my opinion. A lot of guys don't have a problem being Casper the Ghost in public, bro. Hey, to each his own. Something that I don't really talk about, and I don't talk about this much because I think it's less relatable, but there aren't a lot of guys who I can go talk to about this because most men, even men who get on semen retention, they don't really go too far. Okay, cool. The presence aspect of semen retention is cool. It's cool, but it's very draining at the same time. And I'm going to explain. I can't really go out in public anymore without getting my mind right. A part of this journey is accepting that you are different, right? Your frequency is different, and it's gonna take people some time to get used to your frequency, right? Some guy asked me this question the other day, man, is it normal for people to get accustomed to your frequency over time on semen retention? I think he specifically talked about women. I'm paraphrasing here. And to a certain extent, I think on lower streaks, yeah, people can get used to your energy, It's not too far out, again, to where you're unattainable, but it's far enough to where it's something interesting. Okay, but think about it, someone could get used to that. But then if you start amassing energy for years, right, months, years, it's a different story, right? Now, getting back to what I was just talking about, it takes time for people to really warm up to me. And this is something that I've noticed. I've had conversations with people, over the phone for a while. We're texting back and forth. And when it came time to meet them in person, I could see that they were kind of uncomfortable. Unless someone is at a high frequency, they're vibrating high themselves, most people take time to warm up to my energy, right? And this could be the same for you too. If you're someone who's been, you're going months on semen retention, years, it could be the same thing for you too. But people take time to warm up to my energy. Now, what this has made me have to, I've had to learn to socialize, learn to be really good at reading people, taking social cues. It's made me kind of, I don't want to say reclusive, but I don't really like to be thrown into random social situations. I have to plan to be social, if that makes sense, because I know what it comes with. I know that I'm gonna have to warm up a lot of people. I'm gonna have to ease their insecurities, right? I'm gonna have to break their walls. And that takes energy out of me, right? So I had this conversation with my mom. My mom loves to bring people to me and just, boom, yo, here's Ross, you know what I mean? And every time I have to deal with these people, it's a process, but it's draining because, again, they're not going to be comfortable off rip. It's going to take time for them to kind of get used to my energy. And most people don't come across people who hold their nut for years. You know what I mean? It's weird. I can put myself in their shoes and it's inherently different. It's probably going to be different. So I have to be the one to warm them up and break the ice and all that. And it's draining. Like I said, it's so fucking draining. but it has to be done. So I like to do it on my time and on my terms. You understand what I'm saying? So socializing and just being thrown into social situations, it's one of my pet peeves now, because I have to do a lot of work, right? You're gonna throw me in a social situation and then I got to deal with the awkwardness, right? And again, it's not awkwardness on my part, it's the awkwardness on their part. I've got to deal with them. I've got to, warm them up, all that. It takes time and it's draining. Even phone calls, I like to prepare my mind to talk to some of the guys on, some of you guys on my Discord, right? Some of you guys reach out to me and I can't always just be like, all right, let's talk right now. I've got to get my mind ready to talk to you guys and take in your energy, so on and so forth. And this is even the same thing when it comes to going to public places, right, in the physical. I don't like being the last one anywhere, because I'm an empath, and a lot of you guys, I'd be willing to bet, you guys are very empathetic too, right? You guys are empaths. So you feel strongly, you feel the energy around you strongly, you feel people's emotions strongly. You can walk into a room where everyone's quiet, but you still feel as if you're having a bunch of conversations with different energies, if that makes sense, right? You're taking in a lot of different energies, a lot of data is coming in, whether words are being said or not. And you're sensitive to that. And I hate being the one who has to walk into a room that has a bunch of energies already established, because it takes me longer to warm up to it, versus me being the first one there and I can take in everyone one by one. Okay, cool, this guy's that, okay, you're right. It's easier for me to manage that way. Yeah, I mean, the presence is cool and all, the magnetism is cool and all, but it gets to a point to where that presence that you're gonna have and that magnetism, it's going to require you to have to be a certain way, right? I've mentioned this before, you're gonna have to have social skills. I think in my Riz video, I mentioned this. This practice forces you to have social skills, because you're gonna have to constantly be disarming people. Guys, I'm 30 years old, I'm talking about disarming guys in their 40s, 50s. I mean, grown men, they're established, right? They seem successful in the physical. I say it that way for a reason, right? They seem like they've got all the materials, but these are people who they can't even hold eye contact, right? They can't hold eye contact. People like that you've got to disarm and make comfortable. So it is what it is, but it's not always just happy and everything's simple. Semen retention, ooh, the presence, this. I'm gonna go out and into the world. No. There's a lot more that comes with it. This shit goes deep, guys. It's kind of interesting because I've got family members who can be around me. They're familiar with my energy. They know what type of time I'm on. But then let's say they go away for 3-4 weeks. When they come back, it's as if it takes them time to kind of get used to me again, right? It's as if I've been gone for like a year. That's kind of how they act. And I've got my own theory on that. People, come around retainers and they get used to the energy temporarily to a certain extent, right? They familiarize themselves with your energy. But then once you disappear, just about everyone else who they're going to be interacting with or around is going to be lower frequency. And that's easy for them to get used to, okay? That's normal. The next time they see you again, it's gonna feel like, holy shit, it's been a minute. I think your energy just makes them feel as if a lot of time has gone by because they haven't ran into anyone with that energy signature. So when they come across, your energy signature again, it's like a quantum leap for them, right? It's as if, they just hop to a different timeline and holy shit, it's been a whole different, it's been a long time, but it's really been a couple weeks. This actually happens to me all the time. People who I've seen not too far, it's probably 2 months. Yo, bro, they're dapping me up and we're shaking hands as if it's been like a year. But I'm like, bro, I saw you the other day. It's only been a couple weeks, 4-6 weeks, what's up, brother? People are so accustomed to being around low frequencies that when you come around, it feels like, holy shit, it's been a minute, right? Because they're just about everyone, their coworkers, their friends, all the guys, the guys in the checkout lines at Publix, everyone who they come across in their reality, their day-to-day is so low frequency that's normal, but you're such on a different type of time that when you come around, it's like, yo, it's been a minute, man. it's refreshing almost for me, but it's been a minute. But at the same time, you know, guys, I obviously would never trade this for anything less, right? There are a lot of advantages to having presence. You're gonna get your way, and a lot of times, you know, I'm at a point where I have people who speak for me in public. You know, someone might wrong me, and some random bystander might just say something that I'm thinking, but you know, I'm just not gonna say it's whatever, but they'll say it. You know what I mean? Excuse me, he wasn't lying, or you know what I mean? Like, excuse me, like that's his cart. They'll like step in for you. It's kind of interesting. So that tells you that, you know, these people are very hyper aware of your presence. But this is definitely, you know, a benefit that has certain cons on semen retention. But the cons aren't really bad. It just is what it is at this point to me. You know, it is what it is. You know, the majority are never going to be high frequency. So I think this is something that comes with it, and it's something to accept. Yeah, man, it's crazy, guys. I think about it, like, it's kind of weird for someone to get used to people never making eye contact with them. I guess people don't make, you know, eye contact nowadays in general. People are very low confident and antisocial and all that, but it's on a different type of, it's like weird. I mean, everyone I walk past looks at the ground. You know what I mean? They look at the ground, or there's a deer in the headlight look that you get from certain men. And then there's the look of mutual respect. And I'm talking about the latter, right? The look of mutual respect. It's not really often that you get that. And when I do get that from another man, you know, he's usually higher frequency. Probably not, you know, like highest frequency, but I doubt he's a complete degenerate, right? It's very interesting. And the people who are complete degens who do look at you, their eyes are just, you know what I mean? It's the deer in the headlight look. Like, they don't know how to take you in. It's just like, they're just, you know what I mean? They're frozen. But it is what it is.